the build quality for the Google Pixel Fold is very, very subpar. Jerry Rig Everything, if you're not familiar with his channel, what he basically does is gets new devices, new phones. I think it's typically phones. I think he's done a tablet or two here and there, but 95% of the devices that he has or creates a video about are cell phones. And I'm going to link his video in my description box below, so after you listen to this you can go check out what I'm talking about. The Pixel Fold just came out and it failed his durability test pretty bad. Now, what does Jerry Rig Everything do in these videos? He has a basic routine that he gets every device in. What he'll do is he'll basically scratch the screen, see how he's got a little scratch sensor. He'll scratch the screen, see how strong the glass is, front and back. He'll scratch the camera sensor lenses. He'll get a lighter and put it to the display while the phone is on. He'll hold the lighter up to it. And these displays are so good now that you can hold the lighter up to it for 10-20 seconds and it'll show a burn that it's affecting the AMOLED, the light emitting diodes, and he'll take it away. Really, really good flagship displays now will actually heal themselves, so it'll show a burn mark and then it should go back to normal. But at the end, he does a bend test to see how flexible they are. And now, this is a fold, so it's only meant to be folded one way. And with the Pixel Fold, the Z Flip series, the clamshell design like the Motorola StarTAC back in the day, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold, he'll bend them the wrong way. Now, of course, the Samsung devices failed it too, but they held up much, much stronger than this Pixel Fold. This Pixel Fold failed miserably, and on a second video he released, I think just yesterday, so I'll link two. He did two videos. One, he does the durability test. That'll be the first video. The second video, he basically takes the phone apart and looks at the components inside. Now, what that video shows, and that's the video I want to specifically discuss, it looks like Google manufacturing this Pixel Fold cut corners in the manufacturing of this device. Now, why would they cut corners when it's basically the same price as the Galaxy Z Fold 4 that's released in the upcoming Z Fold 5? They both run about $1,800. You would think, why would Google, if you have two products from two manufacturers, they're the exact same price, and basically they're fairly similar in product design, why would one try to cut corners and this one not? Well, I can only think of two reasons on the top of my head right now. One is to maximize profits, because the less money you spend in manufacturing this device, the more profits you can keep. And number two is if you had a main point or a mainstay or something that you were trying to hold on to. Now, I may not be describing it that well, but what I'm trying to get at is Google wanted to make this one the thinnest and lightest foldable on the market. They wanted that desperately. I don't know why. Only they have reasons, I guess, just to say they have the thinnest and lightest fold product, right? Foldable. Now, I'm sure everybody wants more profits, and that's always on the top of everybody's mind, not just Google, Samsung, Apple. However, if you said going into the R&D, the research and development of a specific device, this has to be the lightest and thinnest foldable, boom, stamp that. It has to be. Hang on one second. So if you're going into making a phone saying this has to be the thinnest and lightest, you're going to cut corners to make it the thinnest and lightest device on the market. So in order to make it the lightest, because they are rather heavy, they have a bunch of components in there. It's not a traditional candy bar cell phone. You're going to have to cut corners, right? And well, how do you cut corners when you manufacture something? Well, here's what Google did. Instead of in the construction, the frame of inside the device, Samsung in their Fold series uses steel, and Google is using aluminum. Aluminum obviously is metal, and like an aluminum Coke can. It's a metal that's very lightweight compared to other metals like steel, but it's weak. It can be bent easily. It can be manipulated easily. It can be melted down easily. Samsung chose to go with steel, and also steel is heavier. Steel is more dense than aluminum. So that's where the weight difference comes in. And that explains why it failed his testing so bad. It failed much sooner than the Fold series did for Samsung. Now, jerry-rig everything, folded the Samsung Fold the wrong way and cracked it the wrong way, but it put up way more resistance of folding the. It's like if you take a book, you open up a book, right? It's supposed to open up this way, and you read the pages. Well, jerry-rig everything, not only opened the book, but folded it all 180 degrees back, right? So the Pixel Fold just snapped very easily, which is very concerning if you're going to pay $1,800, especially if you have children. You know, your kids get a hold of these things, especially if you have a toddler. I could just imagine. I remember when my daughter was 3, anything she can get her hands on, she's messing with it, playing with it. Even if you leave the room and you don't even want her touching, or your child touching your Pixel Fold, you just leave the room for a second, they're going to go over there and grab it and mess with it. So that was kind of concerning. The other thing that concerned me was waterproofing. Google chose to go with a hard plastic for waterproofing, and I'm talking about inside the device, inside like where the volume buttons are. Any which way you can think water can get into a phone, you have to seal. So those seals, Google chose a kind of a harder plastic type of material, and Samsung actually chose a silicone / rubber mixture, kind of like caulking. If you ever look in your shower at the corners of your shower, that's caulking. If you touch it, it's kind of squishy, but it's a hard material where it's obviously not a liquid, but water's not going to get through there. Plastic erodes over time. Over the years, it can, manipulate the way heat, especially heat, in time can manipulate the plastics in there. With the caulking and or the rubbery silicone material that Samsung used, I'm sure is obviously more of a researched and developed material. I'm sure it's a mixture of a few different components, but that's concerning as well, because now it's not officially waterproof. I think, now obviously I should have done my research on this, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I know it's not IP68 splash water resistant. I know it's not even IP67. I believe it's IP58, and I'm not 100% sure. Please correct me in the comments if you do know. And that's concerning, because even though it's not certified, they still want to waterproof it as much as possible. And just the fact that Google is choosing to do this just to have, I'm assuming, obviously profits isn't obvious, but to put the stamp on, we have the lightest and thinnest foldable on the market. You can see where they cut corners just so they can have that saying. So it appears that Samsung makes a superior product when it comes to a foldable. And it's concerning if you are a potential Pixel Fold buyer, because you really have to think, and especially if you plan on having this device. I get a new phone. I have 2 phones, and I get a new phone every 6 months, and that's me being good. In the past, I'd get a new phone every couple months, and waste a lot of, whatever. If you plan on having this Pixel Fold for, let's just say, I think the average American goes through, gets a new upgraded device almost 3 years, something like 2.5 years, right? So let's just say we're going to round that off to 3 years. The first year, I wouldn't be too concerned about the waterproofing, about the build of it. I'd be more concerned about kids getting their hands on it. Of course, I don't have any young kids, but if you do, that would be concerning. But once you start getting into year 2, and especially creeping up to a 3rd year, that's when or if you want to buy one used in a couple of years, that's going to be the concerning thing, is the components inside. Is not only waterproofing, or right around the frame and the hinge, there were some aluminum parts too. So you have to also wonder about bending. Now, Samsung has put steel in and around the hinge in theirs. It's Samsung's going into their 5th year of production, and that's just production. That's not even taking into consideration how many years they developed this before they launched their first foldable. They probably had this in development for a good 3 or 4 years before they even launched their first foldable. So Samsung's probably been on year 8, year 9 of kind of knowing how these things work. I'm sure Google's been in research and development for this product for the last few years, but Samsung's got probably 8 or 9 years. So when new products like this come out, I tend to stay away from them, and especially the first generation, because me being a consumer, and I'm sure you viewing this, when you always get the first generation of something, it seems like there's always something that goes wrong. Not necessarily with your device, but there may be 30% of the devices sold have the factory installed screen protector starts peeling, or even the hinge may not, after 100,000 opens and close, the hinge gets a little loose. That's why I tend to stay away from brand new products. We wanted to get this, and we early on wanted to get this when we heard they were going to release it, and then thought, we're going to hold off. I'm glad I did. But all of y'all know how big Pixel fans we are, but this one we held out. If we were to get one, it would be the 2nd gen, because they tend to learn. Because in testing, you only produce a couple hundred to have your team, use them every day and test them out. But now that they have a few 100,000 out, they can really see, what's going on, what's working, what's not, and then they implement what's working into the 2nd gen, and then they redesign what's not working. They try to fix that in the 2nd gen. So 2nd generations, typically for a launched brand new device, is typically the way to go. So I would encourage you. I'm not saying don't buy it. If you want it, be my guest, buy it. But I'm just saying, me personally, if I'm gonna get it, I'm definitely gonna wait for the 2nd gen. And if you are planning on getting it, just be wary. Please watch those videos that I posted in the link below, and make a decision for yourself. I think it would be okay buying it and getting rid of it maybe when the second one comes out. Google, Samsung, even Apple, they have great trade-in deals when they launch a new product, like when the Pixel 8 is coming out in in October. They'll give you a ton of money for your previous gen, so you only pay like $100, $200 to upgrade. That's what I would do. If I were to get the Pixel Fold, and I got one now, I would definitely upgrade to the Pixel 2. I think Pixel Fold 2. I think having the Pixel Fold 1 should be okay. I'm just saying, the purpose of this video is it's a little concerning, and I think the viewers need to be 100% aware of what's going on, how this is constructed, especially if you plan on keeping this device for more than 1 or 2 years, right? Now you can keep for the life of the product. You know, they'll update the software, I think up to what, 5 years, at least through security updates. So I think after about year 2.5, year 3 comes around, if I had to hold on to that, I would be looking to get a newer device. I just don't know how the hinge is going to hold up. I put my phone in my back pocket, and when you sit down in your car, you know, something could, with a foldable, that's why I don't mess with foldables, because I've had quite a few, and after this last one, I'm done. You gotta treat them literally like a baby. You gotta everything. I mean, it's a whole new set. And if you haven't had one, I'm not going to go into it because I want to end this video, but you have to treat them like a baby. I dropped my Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. Got it brand new, Z Flip 4. It was on a little side table about 18 inches off of our fake wood flooring, right? So this is not concrete. This is inside our home, fake wood flooring. It's not carpet, but it's not hard concrete, right? I've dropped my phone plenty of times from my waist, and it's perfectly fine, even without a case. No scratches, nothing. So shouldn't destroy a phone, right? So the Z Flip 4 fell off of a side table, 18 inches, and the screen busted. Boom. And after that, I'm done. And then thank God, that was on the 13th day I had it, and I had 14 days to return it. So I returned it, and buyer's remorse, and they accepted it. They took it back. So I got lucky because I don't buy insurance on my phones. I just don't. So it is concerning, but it's just something you have to think about when buying a new device. Again, it's $1,800, and I was a little taken back by knowing how expensive this is, and then realizing, but not only, because you can read articles, you can hear stuff, but it hits different when you actually see what's going on, right? So go watch this video and you'll see where he points out where Google is cutting corners. And I say cutting corners, they're not necessarily cutting corners. They just wanted to make sure they had the thinnest and lightest foldable. But again, in order to do that, you do have to make some changes when you manufacture the device. To make it the lightest, you have to take some of the steel out and put aluminum in. And to make it the thinnest, you may have to take a layer out of the foldable display. You may have to do this and do that. And the lightest, you're going to put a smaller battery in there, and all these things that go into making a phone. But just think about these things when it is a ton of money, and this information you absolutely have to know when you're making a big purchase like this. So I just wanted to put this out there in the open, let y'all know what's going on, and you be the judge for yourself. I'm not saying it's a bad device. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying you need to have this information so you can, when you do make up your mind or decision to purchase it, you have all the information in front of you, and you're making a good, clear decision. Again, it's $1,800 after taxes. It's well over $2,000 after taxes. So it's up to you. Like I said, we're probably going to get the Fold 2. I don't know right now. That's in the future, but we'll have to see how everything goes with this over this next year with this Pixel Fold. So I do appreciate the time. Oh, and go check out these shirts. Team Pixel, we got them in our shop. Go check out our shop with our YouTube store, and we got them down there for y'all. So appreciate the time, and I will hit y'all with another video soon. Peace.